I've scoured Andrew's little black book to try and find a special guest for us.
Kylie Minogue coming on. McPherson.
Liam Gallagher was unavailable.
Oh, Liam's
Daniel John said you're barred.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
I did come up with this man. Direct from Brisbane.
Oh, yes.
Locky!
Hello, gentlemen. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Locky.
That would be a big black book, I reckon, mate.
Yeah. Some naughty boys in there and some naughty girls.
Yes. Yes, it's very
well, the old one had some naughty girls.
It's very old and decayed, that black book, Locky, I can assure you. How's life up in Brizzy? Now, I've got to say, not even the Queenslanders could talk your way into underdog status for Origin 2.
Not yet. Maybe by kickoff, it could be. There's obviously a lot going on down south. We've had a pretty smooth camp so far. Obviously, there's been a couple of injuries, forced changes, but at the moment it's as good as it can be expected. But I also know that Freddie will have his team ready to go next Wednesday, and it won't be an easy game for us.
Freddie Fittler, game 2, has won 5 out of 5.
Is that right?
Yep. Second up specialist. Yeah, don't back him first up. Carries a bit of pudding, but second up, that's when he hits his straps. Look, I think the Blues are well aware.
How many of those at
What's that, mate?
How many of those at Suncorp, Joey? How many of those at Suncorp?
I don't know. I don't do that much homework. Yeah, they're aware of the challenge.
It's obviously it's hard. It's definitely a hard thing to do in general to win back-to-back Origin games, because obviously you win the first one, you know you've got a second chance, and that's Queensland in this game, obviously, and then whereas New South Wales, they know their only option is to win, so they'll obviously be very desperate. They'll come up here. We know they'll play well. We just need to play better. You know what's really interesting about the whole scenario is it's a scenario that Queensland would thrive on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Written off, players unavailable, going to the away ground and having to win to keep the series alive. This is the sort of stuff that motivates Queensland. It'll be interesting to see how the Blues can adopt that.
Yeah, well, I guess it's like I said. I think they have to win to keep the series alive, and obviously the carrot for them is if they can win, they go back and play the decider at home. But it is. We always talk about playing Origin at Suncorp, and it's a vastly different experience for a Queenslander as it is to a New South Wales player. But no, I'm sure that Freddie will use that as motivation for his players. He might even look back at his own career and give some insight into some of the big wins he's had at Suncorp Stadium. Yeah, look, I just know we can't underestimate Freddie and the team.
What about the changes, Darren? You've got Jeremiah Nene, who's come back in. Obviously, it was a success in his first series with Queensland. Xavier Coates, he might have been a bit unlucky not to be there in the first place. And Foda Waker on the bench. He's a typical Queensland Origin forward, isn't he? Full of effort.
Well, I guess the positive for us at the moment is we've got options in different positions. I mean, Nanai, he's young, he's got some enthusiasm. His form hasn't been great, but his last game against the Storm for the Cowboys was getting back to what we know Jeremiah is capable of. So him coming in over Felice Kafusi, I guess there was a risk there with Felice not playing for a month. He has been there, done it before, but you just think Nanai will bring a bit more enthusiasm, a bit more, athleticism to the team. And then Xavier Coates in the same category, really. He's a threat in the air for us. A lot of good habits coming from the Melbourne Storm. And Cobbo's not 100%. So, preparation is really important for Billy and the team. And having everyone fit and healthy training all week was one of the reasons why Xavier came back into the squad. And then Mo's been rewarded for some outstanding performances for the Titans. And again, we had a couple of options there. I mean, Christian Welsh was obviously discussed, but he was. We had Mo in there before Christian got from the match review committee sort of wiped him out, but Mo's earned his spot.
When you look at the great spines in Origin, I think probably the greatest spine during that dominant years, Lockyer, Thurston, Smith, Slater. You look at Queensland's spine at the moment, Reece Walsh, Munster, DCE, Harry Grant and Ben Hunt. It's getting closer to that great spine. Munster on the weekend, what he did to Cronulla along with Harry Grant, scares the absolute bejesus out of me. His performance on the weekend was just out of this world.
Well, I think he had 20 carries for the game, and I guess Munster, he got involved when it counted last game in Adelaide, but I guess if he has a mindset that he wants to be involved from the first minute and get his hands on the ball, that's obviously really good for Queensland. And look, we know what Origin, it's twists and turns all the time, so we don't know. I'm sure there'll be fireworks early. We just got to hope, from our perspective, that those key players that we've got stay fit and healthy.
So, Locky, let's go back in time a little bit. Your first Origin game, proper Origin game, outside of Super League at Suncorp Stadium, Game 2, 1998. Do you remember the wall of sound and excitement that hit you when you ran out there for the first time in a Queensland jumper?
In Sydney or in Brisbane?
In Brisbane at Suncorp.
Yeah, probably. I reckon I don't recall exactly in '98, but I think at the back end of my career, when I was the captain and you ran out first, that's pretty special because it hits you first and you get out there, and I don't think there's anything better as a Queensland or a rugby league player to play at Suncorp. But I think a lot of New South Wales players that have experienced know that it's a difficult place because of how hostile it is and how intimidating the fans can be, the noise, etc. You can use that for motivation, but I just know it's as a rugby league player, and I don't think there's anything more special than puts the goosebumps on the back end net running out as a Queenslander at Lane Park, Suncorp, but then singing the national anthem. And I remember there's Caxton Street. I remember that was pretty unique as well. We used to take the bus down there, and that was pretty special to know and see how many of them were already pissed before they got to the game, but they were just so pumped. And I know New South Wales used to go down there as well and use that for motivation. Yeah.
So, Andrew, apart from being one of the greatest players our game's ever seen, what sort of a tourist was Darren Lockyer? Because we see the student, mild-mannered, considered footballing brain away on tour with an Australian team. What sort of value was Locky?
He was fun. He was very fun, especially when he's corrupted by people. And, people have heard about the alter ego, Daryl. Yeah. Daryl was out. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun too, and they were different times. Yeah. Obviously, the world has changed a lot, and along with that, mobile phones has changed everything. But, it was good fun. No one got hurt.
Well, not that we know of.
Not really.
It was good, clean fun, Andrew. And, when you're away from home and your family's out there and you just got your teammates, you work hard with training, you play hard, and then you've got, a weekend to go and, enjoy yourself. So I guess I remember the first time I roomed with Andrew, it was in '99 with an Australian team. And I got up to get ready for training, and I'm like, the bed hadn't been slept in beside me, and I'm like, where's me roomie? Anyway, as I was walking out, he was walking in.
Hence the nickname, the unmade bed.
Unmade bed.
They were good times.
Yeah.
Always. I guess the other one was the Sky Rack in the UK, in Leeds. That was a good Sunday session that Andrew and I had a few beers at over the years.
That was fun. There's a pub called out of Leeds a little bit. And used to pump on a Sunday, but we had our times wrong. So you usually start pumping at 4 o'clock in the arvo, 5 o'clock. We'd be there at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. We just had our time differences. We're there on Sydney time. Mowed wet grass.
Yes, I was going to mention that, but you can explain that.
Yeah, no, I won't.
Darren Lockyer, always wonderful to talk to you. Thank you for joining us on this great show called Freddy The Eighth.
Thank you, gents. I think Friday we're Cowboys Panthers, but if I don't, I'll hear from you then. But we'll see you next Wednesday.
100%.
Good on you,
Look
mate.
forward to it. The great Darren Lockyer. One man with a statue outside of Suncorp. The other one's Wally Lewis. And we are so proud to be launching The King, the brand new documentary here to 9 and 9 now, which, if the Queenslanders didn't need any more motivation for Origin, is airing the night before Game 2. You'll see it right around Australia, and it is a beauty.
Sometimes I used to Wally watch. That's how good he was.
He'd sit there and fight front rowers.
Can you believe the state of origin?
He was like a movie star to me.
Oh, he was the boss. He's always been the boss.
I've never spoken publicly about it. We need a new captain.
I got a little bit dirty about it. Just said I suffer from epilepsy.
And he hit me in the throat. I could not breathe.
Lewis in trouble.
His impact on Origin footy, it's hard to fathom.
He was an arrogant prick.
And I think he thrived on the fact that he was hated.